I thought Zootopia was this perfect place where everyone got along and anyone...
Need to acknowledge the elephant in the room. Francine.
Zootopia 2 is shaping up to be more than just a follow-up. It's a return to a world that broke boundaries in animated storytelling, and this time the stakes are even higher. The original film wasn't simply a colorful buddy cop comedy. It became a cultural touchstone thanks to its subtle social commentary and emotional storytelling that resonated with audiences of all ages. So naturally, with the announcement of a sequel, the expectations are not only high, but deeply personal for many who saw themselves reflected in Judy Hopps' optimism or Nick Wilde's redemption arc. The new installment promises to pick up threads from where we last left off, but not in a predictable way. Instead, it seems poised to push the boundaries of its world-building even further, diving deeper into the intricacies of a society where animals of all species, backgrounds, and instincts must coexist in a fragile but hopeful unity. The city of Zootopia remains a metaphor-rich setting, and the sequel is expected to peel back even more layers of its sprawling ecosystem, delving into the complications that arise as a society attempts to progress while wrestling with the very nature of identity, trust, and inclusion. With Judy Hopps now a celebrated officer and Nick Wilde officially a part of the police force, their dynamic has matured, yet it remains filled with the tension, charm, and humor that fans loved in the original. However, the sequel will likely test their partnership on multiple levels, emotionally, morally, and perhaps even politically, as the city faces new challenges that go far beyond any single case. One of the most anticipated aspects of Zootopia 2 is the expansion of the city itself. The original introduced us to uniquely themed districts like Sahara Square, Tundra Town, and Little Rodentia, each meticulously designed to reflect the habitats of their residents. Now the sequel has the opportunity to explore new environments, perhaps an aquatic district for marine animals, an underground burrow for nocturnal creatures, or even a rural outskirt struggling with being integrated into the fast-paced urban core. These new areas won't just serve as visual backdrops. They'll become narrative tools to explore how different communities interact, coexist, and sometimes clash within a shared society. As Zootopia continues to grow and evolve, its divisions may deepen in new ways, introducing social and economic commentary that mirrors our own world. There's speculation that the film could explore themes such as digital surveillance, environmental displacement, or political polarization, issues that are highly relevant in today's world and ripe for allegorical exploration in the Zootopia universe. Such themes, when paired with compelling new characters, could elevate the sequel into a timely exploration of what happens when unity is tested in an increasingly complex society. In terms of character development, the relationship between Judy and Nick remains the emotional heartbeat of the franchise. In the original, they began as uneasy allies, two individuals from vastly different backgrounds who overcame prejudice and mistrust to become friends and partners. Zootopia 2 offers the chance to deepen that relationship, perhaps exploring the nuances of their bond in ways that suggest deeper affection, mutual vulnerability, and the long-term consequences of their choices. Nick, once a street hustler with a guarded heart, now faces the realities of law enforcement and the expectations that come with wearing a badge. His transition from outsider to authority figure may not be seamless, and the film could explore his internal struggles with belonging, identity, and integrity. Meanwhile, Judy, ever the idealist, may find herself tested by bureaucratic inertia, public scrutiny, or the disappointment of discovering that change isn't as simple as catching the bad guys. Their contrasting worldviews could once again bring tension to their partnership, but it's through that tension that the story finds emotional authenticity. Whether the sequel hints at romantic undertones or keeps their bond platonic, what matters most is the continued evolution of two characters who are the narrative soul of the franchise. New characters are also expected to bring fresh energy and conflict to the story. These could include young, eager officers who challenge Judy and Nick's authority, community leaders from overlooked districts pushing for political change, or even charismatic antagonists whose motivations stem from real social grievances rather than cartoonish villainy. One particularly compelling direction the sequel could take involves exploring how misinformation or fear can spread in a society that prides itself on diversity. A charismatic new character could emerge, perhaps a media-savvy figure or political influencer who manipulates public opinion by exploiting species-based fears or promoting separatist ideology. Such a figure would not need to be overtly evil. In fact, the most dangerous villains in a story like Zootopia's are those who believe they're doing the right thing. This kind of moral complexity adds layers to the narrative, encouraging audiences to think critically about their own biases and the nature of leadership, truth, and reform. And just as the first film used a mystery plot to unpack big ideas, the sequel might once again use the detective framework, not to solve a crime, but to uncover a conspiracy or unravel a system that's failing certain citizens. Zootopia 2 also has the chance to dive into personal backstories and give more depth to supporting characters. What happens to Flash the Sloth after his viral fame? Could he be facing pressure to conform to societal expectations of productivity, offering a humorous but poignant reflection on hustle culture? What about Chief Bogo? What's his story? His background and his vision for the future of the Force? The sequel can use these familiar faces to explore generational divides, shifting priorities, and the challenges of adapting to societal change. We could also revisit characters like Bellwether, if not directly, then at least through the lens of her impact. How does society treat the memory of someone who was once a radical, but had followers who believed she stood for something deeper? Do underground movements still whisper her name, or has her legacy been sanitized and rewritten by the city's leaders? These kinds of threads can add richness to the sequel without dragging it into darkness, striking that delicate balance between family-friendly fun and thoughtful commentary. Visually, Zootopia 2 is poised to be even more stunning than its predecessor. Advances in animation technology will allow for even more expressive characters, immersive environments, and seamless integration of complex action sequences. Imagine a high-speed chase through an underwater city dome, or a tense standoff in a dimly lit borough district filled with twisty, narrow tunnels. The creative team behind the film has the opportunity to push animation boundaries by blending different styles, perhaps using stylized flashbacks, dream sequences, or propaganda, reels to explore different perspectives and narrative techniques. This kind of visual experimentation not only enhances the film's aesthetic, but deepens its storytelling, making it more dynamic and emotionally resonant. Musically, the sequel could build on the success of Shakira's Gazelle and her hit song, Try Everything, by introducing new musical artists or genres that reflect the diversity of Zootopia's districts. Whether it's an upbeat pop anthem from a rabbit folk artist, a soulful ballad from a guerrilla jazz singer, or a protest anthem from a rebellious band of foxes, music can once again play a key role in shaping the film's cultural atmosphere. And beyond music, sound design itself, how different districts sound, how chaos and calm are portrayed through sonic texture, could be used to elevate the audience's immersion in the film's world. On a broader scale, Zootopia 2 has the potential to speak directly to audiences of all ages, not by preaching, but by telling a story that encourages empathy, curiosity, and accountability. In a world where divisions, racial, cultural, political, continue to dominate headlines, a film that reminds us of our shared humanity, or shared animality in this case, is both timely and necessary. And perhaps more importantly, the film could also reflect on hope not as a naive optimism, but as a conscious choice, a decision to believe that progress is possible even when it's hard, messy, or incomplete. This sequel doesn't have to offer easy answers. In fact, its greatest strength may lie in asking the right questions, using its colorful cast of characters to explore the gray areas where real change begins.